Welcome back to the channel, it's JR, and in today's video, I'm going to be covering one of my best STG 44 class setups. Now this is a class setup that I currently use and I love it, and I hope you guys do too. I'm going to also include a couple variations with the attachments, just so you can customize it based on your specific needs, but the overall class setup is going to be pretty much the same, but don't miss out on those couple attachments because it can really make a big difference for you. So let's go. So right out of the gate here, we're looking at the muzzle, and the attachment there is going to be the MX silencer. With that, you get +1 sound suppression, +1 accuracy, and -1 aim down sight speed. That's okay, we can deal with that. The +1 sound suppression is really good to have on because if you're firing at a close quarter area, the enemy in the area is going to not really be able to hear the weapon as much as if you did not have a sound suppression attachment on and you were firing. Because in that case, they'll be able to hear where you are and they'll go right to you. So having this on is nice for that reason. The +1 accuracy is also really good to have because with accuracy attachments that improve your accuracy, your ADS spread is going to be decreased. And that is good because that means your grouping, your bullet grouping, is going to be even tighter. Now, if you have a negative accuracy spread on there, well, that's not going to be good. Negative accuracy means your ADS spread is going to be bigger. So you could be looking at a target, firing at that target, and the bullets look like they're hitting, but in reality, they are not hitting. And if you wanted to double check this information, you can check out the patch notes from November 18th, and on there, it specifically talks about the pros and cons of the accuracy attachments and what that could mean for you for your gameplay. So jumping right into the barrel, we're going to go with the VDD 760mm 05B, and that's a mouthful. But looking into that right now, it's going to be highly accurate and controllable with reduced scope sway and gun bob, and you're going to get damage range. Some of the negatives on this, you're going to lose sprint to fire speed, aim walking movement speed, and hip fire accuracy. But that's okay, we can deal without this. The reduced scope sway and the highly accurate and controllable aspect of this barrel, I personally feel makes it worth it. And again, this is what I've been using so far. Jumping into the optic, we're going with the standard Slate reflector here, guys. This is one of the best optic attachments in the game so far. And this is what I use pretty much in every single one of my guns. But you have a little bit of leeway here. If you want to use something else because you like zooming into your targets, feel free, but that's not what I'm going with here. For the stock, I'm going to go with the VDD 34S weighted. You're going to get +4 aiming stability, +3 recoil control, +3 accuracy, and +2 flinch resistance. And if we look at our stat breakdown up until this point, look at those numbers there. +20% for flinch resistance. That's huge. Your idle sway, you're going to get a +87.5%. We're talking big numbers there. And recoil control on this gun, +13.6%, both for vertical and horizontal. Those are huge numbers. Now, the recoil on this weapon isn't really all that bad to begin with, but adding that much more of a positive percentage on it, heck, it's going to make it just that much easier for us to use. For the underbarrel, I've been using the M1930 Strife angled. With this, you're going to get +2 accuracy, +1 aiming stability, and +1 aim walking steadiness. You're going to get -1 sprint to fire speed on this, but that's okay. We can deal without that for this class. Jumping right into the magazine, we're going to use the 8mm Kurz 45 round magazine. And the reason that I like this attachment so much is that you get 45 rounds. So when you're jumping into a building or you're killing enemies back to back to back, the likelihood of you being able to kill multiple enemies without having to reload is fantastic to have. I don't know if you guys are the same as me, but a lot of my deaths come from me reloading. So having these extra rounds is going to be good. At the end of this video, though, I'm going to show you a slightly different attachment for the magazine that you could use depending on how it is that you like to play. But again, this class is going to shoot mainly for really all-around gameplay. Short range, medium range, long range. Talking about the ammo type, I'm working with Incendiary here. And this is a fantastic attachment because a lot of kills that I get actually have come from the effects of Incendiary after I've already been killed or after the enemy has disappeared behind a building. Because essentially this inflicts small amounts of damage over time after the bullet impacts. So the enemy might actually disappear and end up dying, or kill you and then end up dying right after, and you're like, oh man, how'd that happen? Well, that's because of the Incendiary bullet damage. So huge help with this. The rear grip, we're looking at the Stippled grip, and this I really do like. You get +2 recoil recovery and +1 initial accuracy and recoil. Just looking at some of the numbers here, for the centering speed, you're getting +20%, big numbers there, and the horizontal recoil, +12.9%, and for the vertical recoil, 8.7%. So big numbers here when it comes to helping out your overall accuracy from the centering speed and the recoil aspect. For the kit, I love running fully loaded. This is one of my favorite kits only because you don't have to run scavenger. You know, you don't have to constantly be worrying about ammunition here because you already come with the weapon fully loaded, all the rounds that you need. And I find this is really effective when you're stringing together kills, you're running around the map, maybe you're pacing yourself and you're staying in one spot for a little bit and then moving on to the next spot. Not having to worry about bullets is a huge pro in this game. And closing it out here, in the proficiency section, we have to attach vital. Vital is vital. And I'm going to read this out for dramatic effect. This increases the size of the critical hit area on enemies. Increases the size of the critical hit area on enemies. This is huge. It does have no effect when you pair it with larger caliber rounds, so we're not going to do that. We're going to keep it on rounds that are not larger caliber. But this is huge because if you're shooting the upper torso and the head, a lot of these critical areas, you are going to now increase the size of that area by a little bit, so your shots are going to be that much more effective. And one of my buddies, I just had him put this attachment on, really just last night when we were playing the game, and he noticed the effects immediately. And he had his class exactly the same way as he always uses it, and just this one particular attachment really did make all the difference. Hey, now if you guys are still with us, feel free to drop a like, drop a comment in the comment section below, let us know some of your thoughts. If you're not already a subscriber, please feel free to subscribe to the channel for more content related to Call of Duty stuff, traveling, fitness. We have a whole bunch of stuff here. But now I did say that I was going to give you guys a little bit of a variation to this class, so check this out right here. For the magazine, we're going to switch that, and we're going to make that to the .30 Russian short 20 round mags. But look what that does here. Our standard damage is 29, but when you put those Russian short magazines on, that damage is going to become 41. That's huge. That means it's going to take less shots at the enemy to kill them than if you had the other attachment on. But pros and cons, right? Pros and cons. So let's put that on for now. But what does that do now? It's a larger caliber round, so it's going to negate the effects of our vital, like we mentioned. So we're going to take off vital in this case and really put whatever you want on. For this particular case, I'm going to go with focus. So let's throw focus on there. You know, it gives you +1 flinch resistance, which I think is really important. And we'll keep that on there. This is going to be the main difference with this class. So if you find yourself more in close quarter ranges, the added damage for each round is going to allow you to drop those enemies even faster. But keep in mind, you don't have that increased critical area anymore with that vital attachment that you would have had if you left this on. So when I play with this class, I like bouncing between these two options to see what I like best. So again, I like keeping the 45 round drums on there. That works good for me, and I leave the vital on. For the rest of this class setup, it's all pretty basic. Your secondary weapon, you can run a pistol. That might work well for you. You can run a shotgun if you want to run overkill in the perk section here. That's going to be up to you. I do that from time to time, so that is a variation that you can use. But in terms of perks, I really do like Ninja. I feel like it's a big advantage when it comes to enemies not hearing your footsteps. I like running Radar. I feel like that's huge. Enemies appear on your minimap when they fire an unsilenced weapon. And that's half the battle in this game, figuring out where the enemy is and then going out and taking them out. And double time, I really do like because it increases your tactical sprint duration, right? And you get +30% crouch movement speed, which I find myself crouching a lot in this game. So to be able to move faster with crouching is a big difference. Lethal, I like running Thermite because when I'm shooting enemies, I feel like sometimes I'm just like one shot away from killing them and they dip behind a car or behind a building or something's not quite working out right. So I tossed a Thermite and it's an immediate impact with some kind of a damage. And since it usually ends up hitting them or they walk into it, I finish off that kill even a little bit easier. And for the tactical, I love running the stim. I feel like that is just a must in all of your class setups. You regenerate that health as soon as you hit that button, and you really just stay alive. And that's going to do it for our class setup here today, guys. Whether you go with the first variation or the second variation of attachments that I gave you, try them both, figure out what works best for you. Again, I use both setups, but right now I'm focusing on the one that has the vital attachment, and that's been extremely effective for me and a lot of other people that I've recommended it to. So give it a shot, see how you like it. If you want to see one of our other good class setups here about the Automaton, which again is one of the other best weapons in the assault rifle category, click on the video right here, check it out, see how you like it, and we'll see you guys and gals in the next video. So take care.